Well, Matt, thanks for the impact you've had on pretty much everybody in the room.
Appreciate it.
And the entire industry. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I think it's fair to say that basically none of us would be here if it wasn't for Matt Clark. So give it up for Matt Clark, everybody.
Thank you.
You bastard created all of this, essentially. So I wanted to ask you about the coffee brand a little bit.
Yep.
But before that, I just wanted to open up to the group. This is the OG of building brands in today's world. I just wanted to open up to the group to see if there's anything you wanted to ask Matt Clark while he was in your midst.
Let's talk about monetizing audiences.
This month's theme. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm just curious if you at this stage you go by excitement for the type of brands you're building, or if you have what's your goals for knowing what kind of brands you want to launch?
Yeah, so I'd say when I first got started, I just wanted to make money and produce sales and learn marketing and stuff. But then, I've done fairly well, and so that's not super motivating. And so now, I love doing what we do at Amazing because I think we get to actually impact people, and that's super special. But on the physical product side, the coffee brand he mentioned, it's for me, and I was just talking to somebody about this, is for me now at this point, it doesn't mean it's the same for everybody if you're at a different stage, but for me now, it needs to be a product that I'm super pumped about, and something that for me it helps too, if it's a product I use regularly. Because then I'm the perfect sort of beta tester, and I test all the products out, and that matters a lot to me now because it's not so much about the money, it's more how excited am I going to be about the product. But I think that actually helps you make more money because you know better ways to market it, you know when there's problems and all that sort of stuff, and get feedback from friends and family, because if you're sitting there recommending it to them, you hear their complaints and thoughts and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, that's what's most important to me now, I guess, with brands.
What do we talk about 1,000 times on our calls? If you ask any really successful person once they've made it, they come back and they say, well, now I just want to do what I enjoy. Now I just want to build the product I'm excited about. And it's funny that we have this thing in our brain that says we have to wait until later to do the thing that we want to do now. When, if you ask anybody who's gone through that cycle, they'll say, yeah, I just wish I had done that from the beginning. I wish I had just done things I want.
Do you have examples of people that went and did what they're excited about and then say, yeah, that's what got you there? Or do you need to go through this experience of doing something which gets rid of whatever aim you thought you needed to reach in order to reach fulfillment and then realize that you don't?
Any speaker that's ever given a keynote at the Capitalism Conference.
Okay.
Anyone that you put on a pedestal as an entrepreneur.
No, but they all went through this journey where, so maybe I didn't ask my question very well. All of these people that you're describing went and had a successful business, and after they had a successful business, they realized, well, actually, all this chasing the money, that's not what I want. I actually want to just be happy, or I just want to do something that's significant to me. Building the business isn't the significant, it's a way to do it, but that's not really the moment I had it, that's not what I want.
So, making money is a whole hell of a lot of fun. And the whole game of business is a lot less fun if money's not involved. But when it comes to product and the business that you're in, almost every entrepreneur who has made it will tell you, I wish I had just built the one that I wanted from the beginning.
So what I'm asking, do you know anybody who has started by building the one that they wanted rather than going through that process of building the one that they didn't want and then going to build
Yeah, a ton.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was gonna say them. It's they basically built a business kind of around their career and passions, and they've kind of been able to integrate the whole thing from the beginning.
We took it as a board, and we didn't follow the product research strategy at all. We said, right after let's just do eyes.
Okay.
So we did.
I think it depends how you're wired, though. It's hard to tell somebody because we have so much social conditioning that says when you get that car, when you get that house, when you get that stuff,
Sure.
That's gonna be it. And then you buy your first $200,000 car and you're like, this isn't really that great. And you buy your first ridiculous house and you're like, this isn't really that great. It's hard to tell somebody that because we have so much conditioning. And so I wish I could tell everybody hey, that stuff's not really going to do it for you. But I think some people may just have to figure it out on their own. Yeah, so it's hard.
I question how much we can learn from other experience and just have to, it's part of being a human being is you have to live something in order to really learn it.
That's actually a great point.
Yeah, at least if you've heard a lot of people say that, it's one of those things you may have heard somebody say it 100 times, but then you hear the 101st time and then you're finally like, maybe there's something to this. Or like maybe when you experience it, like you learn faster because you heard from them first. So I still think there's a ton of value in listening to what people, even if you don't really listen at first. Yeah, for sure.
It seems that you've gotten really laser focused at Amazing, at serving a very specific person. Mm-hmm. And me, crazy entrepreneur, would want to do a bunch of things, like use that as a platform to do a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
But it seems like you've gotten really simple and focused, and you've had a lot of success as a result of that. And I was just curious if you'd speak to the mentality of, I think you've had the temptation in the past to do other things with the platform, mm-hmm. and you've gone back to being really focused. So I was hoping you just speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like kind of because of like a near-death experience we had as a company. You know, it's one of those things, like we told people all day long, like, yeah, make sure you focus on like one brand, one product, go deep, don't go wide. And what do we do as soon as like back in like 2014, 15 when Amazing is just growing like crazy? We're like, well, you know, we're never going to become like $1 billion company if like we keep doing what we're doing now. Like, this is not what we need to do. We need to go mass market, compete with like Udemy and all those kind of people. And so we basically completely changed the model. We threw away ASM. We went to like a low cost subscription model, and like it nearly killed the company. Like we had $500,000 we were burning through every single month of like a self-funded company. And then, you know, having to lay off like 30 of our 60 plus employees, and it came within like a week of insolvency. So like literally within a week of running out of cash. And so like I think all that experience was like, and then what kind of the icing on the cake was is like, we were still doing our live events at the time with a lot of like, you know, ASM members and stuff from back then. And they were just coming up super grateful. They're like, yeah, you know, you changed our life and this and that. And it was like all because of like ASM. And it was like a big light bulb moment for me. I'm like, holy crap. It's like, what are we doing here? It's like, we know this one thing works and we know people are really excited and it really helps a lot of people. So I'm like, what are we doing chasing all this other stuff? And like, rather than trying to like force growth, like how can we make this thing kind of grow organically from like a solid core and then kind of go from there based on other stuff we can do for people. And so I think it was like because of that super hard experience that we really got more clear in who we're trying to help and how to help them, as opposed to trying to force something that just wasn't the case. I think a lot of times we have this idea in our head, but it doesn't mean it's actually like in touch with reality. And so to me, there's a lot of wisdom in trying to like just grow something organically as opposed to like force it to be something that maybe it's not.
And how would you describe who that person is? I mean, and the reason I'm asking is because I think a lot of people struggle with the idea of once something is working, how they describe who the who is behind it, but you seem to have it really, really dialed in.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's for us, you know, our typical like target kind of ASM customer is somebody that's frustrated with, you know, their lack of financial freedom. They want to, you know, have a source of income that they can kind of grow and control that's not dependent on a job. Our typical person isn't like the, you know, 23-year-old, I want to drive a Lamborghini kind of person. Like it's more of like the person who wants to build a good, solid financial base, take care of people. Like it was craziest thing. One time we did a survey and we were trying to like extrapolate some numbers based on the community. We found that people in the ASM community had donated like $100 million to charity. And like we never asked, we never promoted that, we never did. It was just something they did. And so I think it's like that kind of person that we attract, like the person that tends to have good values. They want to sell good products. They want to take care of people. They want to, you know, give back to their family. A lot of times, like our core sort of target audience, like their big ambition in their business is not to go buy something super nice for themselves. It's to be able to spend more time with their kids, or be able to take care of a daughter or son who wants to have some opportunity in life, or be able to take care of an aging parent or something like that. And sure, we all want to make money, have trips, go on vacation, buy nice things, whatever. So I think it's that person that's aligned in that sense of values is who we end up attracting and who we want to attract. And you know, especially people that are willing to kind of dig in, do the work, and keep going whenever things get tough, which they inevitably will in any business.
At the beginning, would it be fair to say that you went just like whoever would buy? Like whatever the model that worked?
Yeah.
And then simplified over time?
I would say so, yeah. And especially because like probably like ever since the beginning of ASM, probably 80% of people that have joined ASM have come through an affiliate, somebody who had their own community and referred people to us, like you and then, you know, like Robert Kiyosaki and that kind of thing. And like, especially the beginning, it's like that, like going to certain kinds of affiliates are going to bring certain kinds of people. And we found that over time, like some of them just weren't really aligned. It's like they just kind of attracted a different kind of person. And so I think that helps us kind of filter also.
That's beautiful. Go ahead, Mike.
So, in all the people that you've helped, which I'm guessing tens of thousands of people at this point.
Yeah.
What have you found is the number one reason they don't succeed? Because I know the material is good.
Give up too early, 100%. Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like no matter what, like you talk to every, like, you know, this stuff we never really taught a lot, because a lot of times like we're very involved at the beginning of somebody's business, but then whenever they start, you know, getting to $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, a couple $1 million a year, whatever, a lot of times they're kind of living in their own world and they're so busy and stuff like that. But I mean, like you're probably a perfect example, and I think I've heard some of your story in this sense. But yeah, it's like you're inevitably going to run into issues, and so like any business is going to run into issues. I mean, look at Amazing. Like we've done well, but we've run into issues. Like coffee business run into issues, and so the people that are willing to like push through that stuff and not give up at the first sign of failure. I mean, I think that applies to anything. It's like one of those like super basic things, but it's easier said than done. And some people, I think it happens earlier. Like your first product could have an issue. Your first supplier could screw you over. Your first product you go live on Amazon, a competitor could do something weird. And some people, fortunately, they face that stuff later in business. But yeah, I think it's that 100% being able to push through those kind of issues and like not give up at the first sign of trouble or the 10th sign of trouble.
Have you been able to teach that resilience and improve that main problem?
We're working on that. Like that's a big focus of mine right now, because it's we focus a lot on the tactics of how to launch and sell on Amazon. It's very interesting hearing feedback from this group here and what Ryan's providing, because I do think that's a piece that we haven't done a good enough job on, especially the past few years, is teaching that piece, because it is like an inevitability of business.
All right, tell us about the coffee brand.
Yeah, so about a year ago, I think it was like probably end of the year before, end of 2018 or beginning of 2019, a friend of mine, Charles Livingston, I'm sure some of you all have seen, if you've been to any Ezra's events, he always shows him shirtless on the screen. Charles is the nicest guy, he's not super happy about that, but yeah, he had this, he's always been big in health and fitness, I've been big into health and fitness and stuff like that, and so like he had this coffee business that was sitting there, and he had wanted to do this kind of business. And he had always had, in his businesses that have been successful, he's had a couple different 8-figure businesses. And he's always kind of fulfilled the back-end operations piece. And he has had somebody else who's been really involved in like the copywriting and sales funnels and stuff. But this business he like did on his own. And so he had it kind of just sitting there because he had some big supplier issues early on. And he was going to throw the business away because he was like, this is too much trouble. It's not my main focus. But he kept it going because people just kept buying. Like people really loved the product and people just kept buying again and again. And all he would do is send a couple of emails every month, and he was doing like 15 grand a month or something, 100% on Shopify, not on Amazon. And I think he gave me some of the product or something, and I really liked it. I got into drinking healthier coffee, read a lot of articles on that. And so I liked the product. And then I partnered with him in January of last year, and it was doing about 17 grand a month. And I was like, you know, I really like the product. I want to partner with you to help you grow this. And I was like, but I knew I didn't want to like be involved as like a CEO running a whole nother freaking business. So I was like, look, you take care of all the operation stuff that I'm probably not the best person to be doing anyways. But you do all that stuff. And if we get to like this certain target, then I'll own this percentage. And if we get to this certain target, then I'll own a bigger percentage. So it's pure performance-based deal. And I was like, look, if I don't know how to help you market this thing, then I'm not providing any value anyways. And so it came into him with that kind of deal. And yeah, we just kind of blew through those targets. So we started scaling. I kind of redesigned a sales funnel and then started scaling ads on Facebook myself with the help of a guy, if y'all are the Last Seller kind of guy named Manol. So he was kind of helping me behind the scenes because he was more up to date on some of the Facebook stuff. And then so when we got to a certain point where it made sense to cover his agency fee, which was like $7,500 a month, which, you know, we needed to spend a decent amount on ads, otherwise it's kind of like a big cash suck. And so yeah, ended up turning over the ads to him when we got to a certain level of scale. And then we also recruited a ton of affiliates. I went to one conference in Arizona, kind of a mastermind type conference. And like these guys were like, yeah, they're like, you know, we don't like doing SEO stuff. So all we did was like find the people who rank for the stuff we want to rank for. And we either just bought them or like work deals with them. I was like, that sounds way easier. So then I like looked for the people who ranked for like best organic coffee, best low acid coffee. And at first I was literally thinking about buying them because I was like, well, I don't know how much they would want or whatever. So I like contacted them and they wanted like super high valuations. Like they wanted like 3x annual multiples based on their last like 3 months of profits and like crazy stuff like that. And then also I found out that a lot of because they were all just promoting Amazon associate stuff. And I found out a lot of their commissions were coming from selling these like, you know, $500 espresso machines and stuff. And I was like, this is kind of outside the scope of this brand right now. And so then ended up partnering up with a handful of them. So if you search for any of those terms, like we're near the top for almost all of that stuff. Like we're, according
Meaning
to
you have a partnership with the site who's at the top of all that. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So yeah, if you search for like best low acid coffee or best organic coffee, like we're going to be on like half of those sites because we've worked these deals with them, which at first were purely performance based. We're like, look, we'll tell us what you're making from the top listing on this thing, and we guarantee we'll double it or triple it over the next month. Because we kind of knew our numbers from running our own sales funnels, and we did. And then after that, they're basically just a straight affiliate. But there's nobody else who has like a competitive offer from an affiliate standpoint. And then I was like, this is working pretty well for us. I was like, but how did these people find out about? Because there's like 1 or 2 coffee affiliate programs that weren't on Amazon. I was like, how do these people find out about these coffee affiliate programs? And I was like, I searched coffee affiliate program in Google, and I was like, I knew one of the guys who owns one of those sites, Mark Ling. So I knew him, but the other guys I didn't know, but they had their own little blogs that were like best coffee affiliate program. So I contacted them also. So according to the internet, we're also the #1 best coffee affiliate program. And so that started getting us even more affiliates. So that's been great as like a complement and diversification away from just Facebook ads, which is what everyone does whenever you're not selling on Amazon.
And what does that funnel look like? You have a long form sales letter, I believe, that sells the coffee.
Yeah. And so we have, lots of different Facebook ads we're always testing. They go to basically a long form sales page, and then explains all the benefits, features, all that kind of stuff. And then we have like kind of a never ending like big discount on that page. And then where we did a lot of testing, like first we tested like the hook. Like, are people buying this for health reasons or because we donate part of the profits to help the environment? Or is it because, a handful of other different reasons? So we tested those kind of different angles. But the other piece we did was test the offer a ton. And so like typical model and like a direct response kind of sales funnel, like a lot of people did this in the supplement industry, is like 136 bottle. If you go to one of these pages, they try to get you to buy a ton of bottles. So we tried 136, we tried like 248, we tried different bundles and combinations and all this different kinds of stuff. And what actually worked out the best for us was just like 3 and 6. So you can't buy a 1 bag on that page, but they're getting like a 50% discount and it's still profitable for us. And so you buy a 3 or 6, then we basically ask you if you want to double your order. And so our average order value is basically like $66 for a product that, the average like price per bag is like $21. So we're basically getting on average somebody to buy 3 bags at a time, which is what made all the ads profitable and allowed us to scale.
The margins on coffee aren't huge. You're not selling supplements at $50 a bottle that costs $3. And if you're paying an affiliate that eats in your margins as well, how are you able to manage paid ads and affiliates on a low margin product and still be profitable?
Yeah, so with affiliates and our paid ads, the cost per sale is about the same. We pay affiliates about a $30 CPA, which makes it like way more attractive than the freaking couple bucks they may be making from Amazon, even though sure their conversion rate's probably higher. And then whenever we're running ads, our CPA like cost to get somebody to buy from that sales funnel it's creeped up a little bit because we've gone super wide, but it's around $35. And so based on our profit margins, we're basically profitable on those customers in like month 2. And we've run the numbers and we've got some pretty cool apps you can run for Shopify that show basically in 9 months, we essentially double the value of a new customer. And so that's kind of we've pretty much been building this business to sell it. And that's part of our story is to tell them like, look, if you inject cash into this thing, like we can show you the data from the past year. Like you're going to be able to grow way faster if you're willing to go in the negative for like 9 months, which is like a typical model for those people. Yeah. That's how like the only reason we've been able to do that stuff, which is what I've been kind of like telling people a little bit about, how to scale sales on your own sales funnel. It's like you've got to get that average order value up because it's not really like there's not some holy grail of average order value. It's completely dependent on your market. Like you have to get it higher than your competitors because you're all competing for the same ad spend. And so like if you're competing for the same ad spend, but you can spend more to acquire a customer, the typical direct marketing thing is that you can scale ads faster.
But Matt, would you characterize your product as being a low margin product?
Most people would say so, but I was just talking with a guy who's been in this business for a long time, Steve Gray, and he's, I don't know what they do, but they do a lot of volume. And we were comparing our gross profit margin to his, and they were about the same. And his was some survival physical products things. So it's not that bad because we sell our coffee for a premium price. We also have a premium cost, but I mean, as you all know, like the difference between like a premium cost product and one that's not can be like a few bucks. It's where you make up the bigger margin is on the selling price side. And so we have the same case. It's like maybe other people are able to get bags of coffee for like $3 or something of super dirt cheap coffee, and ours may cost us like $7 after me playing the bad cop to the supplier and Charles being good cop. So they're probably not a super big fan of me, but I've negotiated that a ton. And so like that's after negotiating. But still, that's what it is. Yeah. So the numbers end up kind of working out for us.
What else would you guys like to know?
If you were starting out with a coffee brand, let's say it's called Black Magic Beans, and your Shopify store is going to go live in like a week or two, and you've got a Facebook group with maybe 100 people in it, what would be your one piece of advice?
What's your goal?
Run a company that's really, really fun to do.
I mean, is your goal to like take those people and like generate as much cash as possible in the short term?
From the Facebook group?
Yeah.
The Facebook group's just a way to interact with people. I'd like to run a coffee business that's a lot of fun to run.
Yeah.
And what are you asking advice for?
What's the best
way to have fun?
No, that's not it. I think we all know the answer to that. No, but at the moment it's a non-existing business, and I've never run a coffee business. Just from an operational perspective, what's a good first step to like get the ball rolling?
I'll take a swing first.
Sure.
So if the goal is to have fun, then you have as much fun with the people who show up at the very beginning. Mm-hmm. And you blow them away with a customer experience that's really fun. And as a result, you get really fun testimonials and videos that you're gonna use. Oh my goodness, if you wanna have a lot of fun, take the goofiest review videos and run them as retargeting ads, and then send them back to buy more coffee. So if like Chris's goal is to be excited, if yours is to have fun with this business, then don't do anything that isn't fun within the business. So it would be a mistake for you to then go, I know how to scale this. It's to write a sales letter, and then you copy somebody else's sales copy rather than writing like the funniest, weirdest ass sales letter anyone's ever seen. And so all of the mechanisms, what's that?
I like that song.
So like all of the mechanisms are great as long as the principal goal stays, we're going to keep this really, really fun. Mm-hmm. So if you decide to go roll out an e-com funnel or a long form sales page, you can, as long as the copy that you write is in brand, yeah. That is wacky and fun and has weird testimonials and case studies, and because then you'll get the people that are supposed to be into that funnel. It would be a mistake then say, well, I think it'll convert better if I do this, and now you are thinking instead of doing what it is that you want to do. That's how you will build a brand that's really fun. And all the mechanisms are bonuses.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan probably said it better than I could, but I mean, I think it's kind of like some of those fundamentals. It's like making sure you're like selling a product you're super pumped about, you're treating customers in a way you're happy about, and you're marketing it in a way that you're happy about. And then so like to me, those are kind of like things you must have in place now if you want to run a business you're actually going to be like excited about. Then for me personally, which is not going to be the same for everyone, like I get excited because of the growth. Because I know we're taking care of those pieces, it's just one of those things, it's just like a sense of progress, I guess. I don't know, being able to push growth fast. It's like I get, kind of bored kind of quickly, which is a problem sometimes. But I like seeing the growth. And so, but
none of us can relate to being bored quickly. None of us at all.
Yeah. So
Matt, what I heard you say is that the growth of ASM has really been driven by the relationship and structure of the affiliates, relationships you built. And it sounds like you used that model to help scale the coffee business.
Yeah.
Have you used that type of tapping into affiliate audiences model for other physical products brands? And if so, what does that look like? Because that's a world it's a whole different world than a lot of us know anything about or have ever played in.
Yeah.
So we know an audience is important, but building our own and tapping into somebody else's are just two totally different things.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the thing is with affiliates, what I've always seen, especially with working with a lot of them, like one-on-one with ASM, and it's the same thing with the coffee thing and like any physical products business. It's like they really have two needs. It's, number one, they want to make money, And number two, they want to know that you're like taking care of their people because their reputation's on the line by referring people to you. And so as long as you can make them more money than anybody else and then make their customers happier than anybody else, then they're going to promote your stuff all day long. And a lot of times, like maybe third, which is kind of optional, is like there seems to be a bit of like an ego issue involved sometimes too. It's like they want to feel important also, but that's probably like a distant third. And so like I think where a lot of times people screw up and where we've screwed up in the past too, is we try to get an affiliate to do something just because of the relationship. But we screw up like the financial side or we don't deliver a good high quality product, and that really starts burning out that relationship fast. But if you can come to them, it's like what I would recommend anybody who wants affiliates, unless you just have a friend and you're helping each other and there's some like mutual benefit rather than just the money, is dial in your numbers first before you go to affiliates, because then you can come to them and it's less of like a favor you're asking and more like you're almost doing them a favor because you're helping them make more money, because you've already proven your numbers, you've spent your own ad dollars or however you've tested the stuff, and you're like, look, like we have the numbers, like we can show you, we'll make you more money than whatever you're doing now, and we have a great product that we're super pumped about, and you can show testimonials and stuff like that. Then if recruiting affiliates typically isn't like much of a problem. There's a bit of a snowball effect too. It's like getting the first one or two is harder because they have to trust you. Once you have those two, you can take those numbers and use those to recruit more affiliates, and it gets easier and easier and easier.
And then if you have a couple notable affiliates in there and they give you permission, I typically extort the crap out of them by saying, hey, I work with this guy. And I make sure that it's cool that we're saying that about him, and that the whales usually like that, but Matt's very good at that too. And then they'll just have, if he's working with them, then I'll do it too. And so there's a little bit of that effect too.
Yeah, back in the day, I guess we'd kind of call it like the Ryan Deiss effect. It's like when we were like just getting started out, like he was based in Austin and stuff. As soon as like affiliates found out he was promoting, then all of a sudden we'd get 100 new affiliates, just because like he kind of took some of the risk off the table. Yeah.
What was the offer you found was most effective for getting affiliates? And then you talked about finding ones that fit your audience best. How did you figure that out?
Which business, or does it matter?
Doesn't matter. How do you know which is the right affiliate to work with, and what's the offer that they most respond to?
Yeah, so it's, I mean, like with an offer anybody would respond to, it's like, how do you reduce risk for them as much as possible so that they like make as much money? And so for us, with the coffee business, it was kind of interesting because, Charles already had the business going, and he had found out at some point, I think he learned it from his friend like Joel Marion, who at some point like tried to do like an never-ending affiliate cookie thing, and like apparently for BioTrust that like ended up not working or something. I don't really know the details. And so Charles at some point decided like instead of giving people like a never-ending sort of lifetime commission, he thought it would be better to give them like a big upfront payment. And so that's kind of what we went into it with. He already kind of had that chosen, and we just had to make sure we could back up the numbers with a sales funnel. So that was kind of already in place, but I mean, I think the psychology behind it is just way freaking better than what anybody else would offer. It's like Amazon will give you like, 6% or whatever for associates. And then like the other coffee affiliate programs were giving you like 15% or something on a sales funnel that probably doesn't convert very well. And we're paying you $30 per sale, which is probably like 5 times more than anybody else. And I think that kind of like translates because like, I mean, as you know, from like internet marketing world, like in ClickBank and stuff, it's like people are giving 50% commission, then 60% commission, then 75% commission, then 90, then 100, then 110% commission on that front end offer, because that takes like all the risk off the table for affiliates. They get their cash up front, but you make all your money on the back end. And I think the same thing should apply to like a physical products business. And the cool thing is most people aren't doing this stuff. Unless you're in internet marketing, most people are not offering those kind of crazy affiliate commissions to people, because like, I remember at one point, like my dad sold his medical business, like, 5 years ago or something like that. And at one point, like he was telling me some stuff that they had going on. I was like, why don't you give him like $500 per referral? Because he would make like $900 on the initial sale. And then like, a couple $100 a month from these people from ordering different products and stuff. I was like, why don't you give people like $500 per referral? And then he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And so he did it and it worked great. But then he had a hard time ever convincing like the other people to like do it again. And it's just like typical kind of thing. But it's like most businesses just aren't doing that kind of stuff because they're scared. But I think the psychology is all backwards.
Do you have to go significantly into the red in order to do this?
Same thing. So on the ads, like we're profitable in basically like month 2 with that. When we started forcing affiliates to send them to the same sales funnel as our ads, because at first we had them sending to a sales funnel that had a 1-bag offer on there. And that one, I don't really remember the numbers, but it was less, took longer for us to be profitable. But when we had them send it to the other one, we already knew all our numbers because the average order value is like $60-something, and we know how many people reorder and stuff.
What does the team look like on the coffee brand?
Me, Charles, an ad buyer, and like a customer service person. And I think the customer, like Charles handles the operations and stuff, so the customer service person may have like a few people working under her. Because apparently we get like 150 calls a day or something. As you can tell, I'm pretty disconnected from that side of the business, fortunately. So he takes care of all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, my job was to scale sales. Yeah.
Got it. All right, one more. Go ahead, Ron.
So Matt, you stepped into an existing business, right?
Yeah.
With kind of a already pre-made affiliate model, so to speak,
Sure.
in a way.
Yeah.
If you were to start, from scratch, and you knew that affiliates were one of the ways you wanted to go, how would you set it up?
First thing I would look is see what other affiliates are offering right now. And depending on what kind of business you're in, I'm pretty sure it's probably not going to be very attractive or very aggressive, but you should know the space. And so look and see what other similar affiliate programs are offering. Is it percentage? How much is the percentage? What's their like average price point? Because they're not necessarily going to give you their average order value or anything, but you can tell by how much they're selling stuff on the website. So find out what they're offering and then see if you can offer something that's like 5 times better to people, which is probably not going to be that hard. And so once you kind of figure that out and have a general sense of what kind of affiliate offer you want to make, then I would start dialing in your sales funnel. And so like, once again, like not trying to go with them like, hey, trust us, like you're gonna make a lot of money in this, and like you don't have any proof. Like instead you wanna be able to go to them and be like, look, we've already run a bunch of ad spend through this thing. Like here's our traffic for the past 30 days. Like this thing is producing this, it would basically make you this amount of money if you were to promote this thing like per click or per sale or whatever. If you can go to them with that, like it should be no problem. And not all of them will say yes, not all of them will respond, but in our experience, like most do, because most just wanna make more money. Like for example, like our top affiliate that has like an SEO kind of ranked site, because we have some other more standard affiliates that have audiences and stuff, but our top one there, like I think he just sold his business, and it was pretty sure purely based on the multiple of the amount of basically money he was making from commissions. And then so by him promoting our thing, like I haven't really done the math, but I mean we probably significantly increased the value of his business. But we also make more money, so it's kind of good for everybody. It's not just like a favor.
Now, do you use the dedicated software to run the affiliate side of things?
We use Affiliately.
Affiliately?
Yeah, it's just like an app for Shopify. Okay. Charles was saying like he's like, for some reason he wanted to switch, I don't know, but it's done the job for us. I tried for a different reason, setting up Post Affiliate Pro at some point, but I don't know if anybody uses that, but that thing's complicated as hell. And so I don't know, maybe there's a better option, but Affiliately has worked fine for us.
Well, Matt, thanks for the impact you've had on pretty much everybody in the room.
Appreciate it.
And the entire industry.
Thank you.